Hey guys, so I'm gonna tell you why I dropped out of school in my senior year to become an entrepreneur and what my parents said about it. Growing up in Zimbabwe, I always thought in order to start your own business, you need to be in school. I came to the States when I was 19, when I was 18, about to turn 19, went to college and I was taking these business classes. In my classes, I was always curious about business and how I can start building businesses and things like that. And from what we were learning, there was no new information I was learning. One, two, they were not teaching me how I can be an employer. I was really frustrated about the whole thing, and I couldn't drop out of school because I kept on going for like 3 years. Because my parents moved to the States so I can go to school. I didn't have the confidence to confront my parents and tell them, like, I don't want to go to school. So my third year was really frustrating because my house was 27 minutes away from school. I had to drive all the way in traffic, stuck, going to a school or to a place that I don't want to be in. And I was getting all this education on, things I didn't care about. And they're giving me all these classes on things I didn't really care about as well. Me, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And when all of that was happening, I was studying my businesses on the side and things were going well for me. And I realized, I was learning more from those businesses that I was starting than when I was learning in school. Even though those businesses were failing, there was a lot that I was learning and it was helping me to build the next businesses that I was working on. And I decided to drop out of school. But this is how I told my African parents because I knew they were not going to be okay with it. I told them that I'm going to take a break and come back when this thing makes sense. Right now, I want to focus on doing business. That's what I want to focus on. My father wasn't happy with it, with my decision, but he didn't express it to me. He kind of understood because when I heard him talking to other people, he was indirectly saying, America is a lot of opportunities. You don't just have to go to school in order to be successful. So I felt like he was kind of giving me a hint indirectly that, he understood my decision and where I was standing. He never asked me, oh, when are you going to go back to school? My mom never asked me, when are you going to go back to school? But my situation might be different from your parents because my parents never went to college. So, they're not really they really wanted someone, from the family, because in my family, like the whole family, nobody ever went to college except my little sister. Now they're the ones that are in college. But, everybody was old and stuff, like they don't have any college graduates. So my dad was, oh, you're going to be the first college graduate in the family. But, it's my life. You have to live your life the way you want to. You can't live for your parents. I couldn't live for my dad. I couldn't live for my mom. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship makes me happy. I like solving problems. I like networking. I like partnering with people. I like bringing value to the people. That's what I'm passionate about. I'm not a guy who's going to sit behind the desk and, learn about some people, case studies about business. I want the real actual business. I want to learn myself. That's the kind of situation. So that's what happened with school. So if you guys are in school because of your parents, you don't want to make your parents mad, it's your life, man. You only live one life. You're probably going to die soon. You never know. So you rather die doing things that you like than doing things that you don't like. Just imagine you're in a deathbed, you're about to die, and you've been stuck in a job that you don't like, and you had all these ideas to start a business, but because you're afraid to take a chance and do it, you couldn't do it. So now you're dying. Your life is right in front of you. You're seeing how you live life, what you could have done, what you could have achieved, but you were so scared you didn't do it. So yeah, so that was my journey. But to be honest, me, I'm different from a lot of African people because this is how I'm different. My dad was very open minded, and he allowed me to be independent at a very young age. When I turned like 14, my dad started treating me like his little brother. So when he started giving me all these responsibilities, and he trusted my judgment and everything. So I think with that on my shoulder, it gave me a lot of confidence. And even though I was afraid to confront him, when the time was ready for me to go ahead and talk to him, it wasn't that much. I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't that much of a burden to say it out loud, like, Dad, I just don't want to do this. And you know, my mom has been an entrepreneur for her whole life. So I believe she would have understood. She didn't seem shook. She didn't shake. Like, up to now, I don't even know like how she felt about it. But one day I need to sit down with them and have a conversation. When I'm back in Zimbabwe, I want to have a conversation with them and get to know, like, you know, how do they feel when I came up to them and say, I don't want to go to school anymore. I want to start my own business. And you know what's crazy? When I dropped out, I was like, I'm going to start this successful business to my dad, and it's going to take me a year. Come back successful. Guess what? Never succeeded. But that's business. You learn from your failures. So I learned a lot from my failures, and you know, I've continued building. I'm still building, and I know I'm going to be super successful in whatever I do, because wherever you exert the most energy is where you're going to get the success. So me, I focus on developing my business. That's where I spend most of my time reading, researching, and partnering up with people, you know, just bringing a lot of value to different people in the world. So yeah, so that's about it. So if you're going to college for your parents, that's a bad idea. You need to stop now, because it's your life. This is your life. Ain't nobody else's life. It's yours. So you need to stop right now. It's the time to stop. You don't even have to watch this video. You need to stop to go to school and make a plan. But a lot of people would want to drop out without a plan. It's better for you to go find a job somewhere else than to spend money in college pursuing a degree that you're not going to use, and you're getting student loans and things like that. So if school is not your thing, I think if you're watching this video already, school is not your thing, because you can't be watching if school is your thing, because you know, you'll probably skip this video. But if you're watching this video, school is not your thing. But so now you're asking me, what's the plan after I drop out? The plan is, you need to figure out what you like. You need to figure out what are your gifts, what are your talents, what are you good at. And these days, they're like, you know, the world is changing. Most of these degrees are useless. This degree you're pursuing, you don't even know what you're going to do with it, right? Exactly. So rather develop some skills. Like right now, create a podcast, create something, learn to code, learn something that you can make money out of. Like, you know, you have skills. You have to understand your skills. My skills, I know how to network. I know how to connect people. That's what I know. I know how to approach businesses and talk to them. So I've noticed that, like, you know, those are my skills, because after I dropped out of college, I started my own thing and doing my own thing. I realized, like, okay, I have those skills, and people around me were telling me, like, oh, you're good at this, you're good at that. I surrounded myself with other entrepreneurs and things like that. So yeah, so that's about it. I don't know if I left off some important details for you, but yeah, if school is your thing, please do continue going to school. Continue. But if it's not, do not go because of your parents. You're an African, I understand. They might have moved to the States because of you, or moved to the UK or whatever country. They made all those sacrifices. You should thank them for that. Like, thank you. But this is my life. I'm going to take it upon myself to live the way I want. And some people are just, oh, you don't know my parents. I don't know your parents. Yes, you're right. But are you going to live the life for your parents? That's what you're going to do? Oh my God. What I'm doing right now, I'm asking you guys to defy your parents. That's not good. That's not good. That's not an African thing, right? But, you know, it's your life. Do what you want. Life is too short. Always remember that. You're not going to live forever. You only have one life. So either you're going to pursue a degree for your parents, or either you're going to drop out, start that business. A lot of first businesses fail. I don't want to scare you. But, you know, you learn something from that business, and then you build something that's going to be successful. That's all. Like, failing, you're learning a lot. There's a lot of information from failure. Trust me, just getting to know what works and what doesn't work. So I'm going to encourage you guys to get into business. We want more entrepreneurs on the African continent. We want more entrepreneurs of African descent. The more entrepreneurs we have, the more problem solvers we have, the better it is for the continent, because the continent of Africa, sorry, I was just seeing a cat, so my office is closed. Oh, it's a dog. My office, I can see what's outside. There's a window there. But yeah, so as an entrepreneur, I want more entrepreneurs. We want more problem solvers. We need to be solving problems on the continent of Africa. By the way, I have a podcast. It's called Making It in Africa. I bring different entrepreneurs on the podcast. They talk about their journeys, and they educate you on how you can start, how they got started their business, and now you can also get in business as well. So if you're just curious and not sure what you want to do, check it out. Maybe, you know, you might learn one or two things. All right, so guys, that's about it. See you next time.